Well, there would be seven on us in the house. And I left school when I was 13, and I went off for service when I was 13. And I had 29 week on for £2. And my britches would have stood in my bedside of a night when I went yam. Because you got no to eat hardly. You used to have your blue milk and cheese and the best and have a pudding. And then you used to go out, out and work for about 7 o'clock at morning till about 8 at night. And them days, when we were on, you could get a good cow for about £12. Now they're about 90. And sheep, you could get about 5 or 6 for £1. I'll tell you what, these young'uns nowadays, they don't know they're born into the world. It's easy going for young'uns if they can't have a tractor and a milking machine and all such things as that they want it for you. And they'd have about £6 a week now. Whereas them days a fellow was quite content if he got about £5 or £6.
I lived here all my life, you know, and I watched winds and one thing and another, and clouds and everything. I can tell nicely. I can tell as much about weather as forecast. I can. The money time wrong.
Aye.
The money time wrong. But of course, you know, weather, they'll be right to some parts, you see, and to the others. Especially the wind. Mainly the wind. When wind changes, it can turn dry. Instead of wet. Winded west is always a sign of rain here. Always. North wind where it's drier. And east wind's an old cold rocky wind. The white strips comes on. I believe I was telling you that at back end.
I think you were, yes.
Like a ground wind coming across water, you know, and across ground. It forms them, that white froth in white lines, say far apart.
I've had horses doing, but I never had anything like this before. When he raised, that was through his foreleg, the shaft was through there, you see? Now then, there's 3 men come, you understand, to help us to get the horse up. Well, I got his saddle off, I got his breeching off, I got his heel sticks off, and I think I had a brainwave, because I thought, well, this horse mine, he's maybe never been broken in with a plain bridle. Well, they're frightened as a rule, so I said to old Herdman the gaffer, and Charlie Madison and Snowball, and Charlie Steele. So I says, tighten the brake on, put some steers in front of the wheel. I didn't want the car to go over that seg because it was going to go about 50 foot into the bargain. I clicked his blinders up and he jumped clean out. I think that was the worst do it ever I had with that. And I'll tell you now, when I went to Hindy Steele, this was my father's day. That's a long time since. It's 53 years since he died. I had to go and I was supposed to come in for the 7 o'clock train at night for a wedding with Willie Little and Annie Armstrong. Well, all right. Well, when I drove them back, I was the first man to ever went across the fell, what they call the yog run to Hindy Steele, before the road was made.
If you're bretting, you're needing, you called it in them days, and make a wall in the middle, put a bit of salt around, you know, and put a crumble your yeast in, and make it just look. New milk warm, they used to reckon, water it to be for the yeast, you know, and then you worked it up with flour, and just this in the middle, worked it up, and then you left it to rise up. And if it got risen to the top, well, you set to work to knead it. Mix it all up together, and your tin of water, you know, warm, not over it. Put new milk warm as the tilt on, and well, you had to keep kneading it and put a little drop more water, you know, and kneading it, and until you get it to what you felt right, and you give it a good dough, good knead. And
what you taught cake like. The other dish about that day, you know, and they used to mix their meal in day or two before, then let it get to working, you know. Then put it on back to made into cakes. Well, it was same as in a Cornwall, there was some of these, but that house hadn't one in. corner come further out than that, you see. And it had a square, well, a sheet of iron like that there about that way. It went right across for the unwatered fireplace, you see. Then it was built up with your fireplace underneath it. And you fired up underneath it, you see, to get your plate hot. And some probably used to saw their hot cake on, they could do it, but some riddled it on, you see. My grandmother get into her spittle, you know, and just put it on, then one spittle of curd, it was just right shape, you know. And it's a sin of the fly wingers, you know, to be good. Then they just let it get brown at one side, you know, they don't turn it over. You see, just shove it under your spittle, you see, and then with the bottom doing it right for hanging upon scratch. Well,
It'll be about 25 years then. That front filled up, and yon two pieces down our stall. Good, real grand stuff it was. And I had clover cut. Well, I got clover laid. It was down against the side, and I got it laid. Swept it into its stock. Well, that was all right. And it got one near up to clover stock, and it take what it was a cook, and it didn't tuck away, it out you because it was no good. Well then, at back end, I cooked my second crop of clover. I cooked it at Friday. I thought, no, I'll cook it at Friday, and then I'll turn it at Saturday, and then it'll be ready for getting the Monday. It come a flood again at Sunday night and west lot into the edge.